On today's Glory Days show, the race for Lord Stanley Cup is deep into the second round with only 8 teams remaining. We'll bring you up to date on the Islanders and all the remaining series.
And, can you smell it? Horse racing is in the air. Or is that you, my friend? Either way, 20 horses will be gunning for glory in the Run for the Roses later this afternoon on the first leg of the Triple Crown, the Kentucky Derby. Our horse whisperer, Jerry Schwarzman, will join us to talk about it.
And with Mother's Day right around the corner, we're going to talk to our mothers about their special day.
So don't touch that mouse. The best hour of your sports week is coming up right now. Inravio.com. Hello again, everybody. Today is Saturday, May 7th, 2016, and you are watching The Glory Days Show with Bruce and Disco. My name is Paul Discofani, and this is my good friend, Bruce Oler. Kyle Melnick and Brittany Berger are behind the glass today, and you are joining us on the Inravio TV network, where we stream live from Studio C right here in the great state of New York. Good morning.
It's more like Atlantis, man. It's like everything's underwater, you know?
We have had, like, the worst, last 2 weeks of weather. I guess it's supposed to be, you know.
Well, it's April
Isn't
showers.
April showers?
To May, man, you know, and it's cold, too.
Well, everything seems to start later anyway, nowadays.
You know, I was all fear when we had a kind of a mild winter. We thought that, well, I said, you know, hopefully spring isn't delayed, but that's what's going on here, you know.
You know, and it's no good for our crops.
What are you growing? Is it a cash crop?
Well, we're not really Midwest farmers, but
okay.
But you know, we can't get my grass to grow. My grass isn't growing.
Well, once the sun comes out, I think everything's going to really just take off.
But when is the sun going to come out?
I don't know. I was hoping today, but it was raining this morning when I got up.
Yeah, I'm getting sick of it. I get sick of the cold weather. Now I'm sick. You know, I'm becoming that grumpy old man that won't give the ball
So,
back.
have you thought about where you're going to retire to? You're going to move down to Florida?
I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what my concern about Florida is?
There's too many old people.
No. Bugs.
Bugs, okay.
They have gigantic bugs.
Yeah, I guess they do.
In Florida.
Crocodiles?
I don't know. Crocodiles, you'd have to go near water, wouldn't you?
Well, on a golf course, they're on golf courses, right? You know.
Yeah, but you know what? If I hit my ball into the water, it could have it. I'm not going anywhere near the water in Florida. I've seen too many Happy Gilmores.
That's right.
You know?
That's right.
But I thought about maybe something like Arizona or something. Or, you know, San Diego is a beautiful place.
Yeah, well, and that's where your son is today, right?
Yeah, Kevin is in San Diego today. He's going to be with the 7 Lion Army tonight at the Met game.
And the Mets have lost 2 in a row now, right?
They only scored 3 runs.
Well, not 2 in a row. I guess they... Yeah,
2 in a row. They only scored 3 runs in 1 inning.
Yeah.
The Padres...
I know, the Padres are looking good against the Mets, man. They really are.
They look terrible against everybody else.
But truthfully, I'm not even really focused on baseball yet. You know,
it's hard.
Our primary... focus. Yes, focus. That's a good word there. Is Stanley Cup, and the Islanders are in there, but they are in a precarious position right now.
You know what you call this?
Back against the wall.
Deep doo-doo.
Okay, you know, they lost 3 in a row, are on the brink of playoff elimination. Unlike Series 1, when they played Florida, and they were outplayed in most of those games, but they won those games. Right. Here, it's the opposite. They're playing, I think they're outplaying Tampa, but it doesn't show on the scoreboard or in the record.
No, John Tavares said in the locker room, they were asking about how, you know, they're playing better. And he said that matters, playing good only matters in the regular season. He says in the playoffs, the only thing that matters is wins and losses.
And he's right.
And if you can't win the game, you know,
Yeah.
So now it goes again. Now you got to win out to keep going.
And you were talking about quotes, and there were a couple of quotes I read in today's paper that one I liked and one I didn't like. Okay. So I'm a big Kyle Oposo fan. I love Kyle Oposo.
Yep.
Okay. But I didn't like his quote, and it's not like his quote was bad, but I don't like the kind of, I guess, the ulterior going on here. Okay. He said, we have to win 3 in a row. Okay.
Well, that's obvious, but you don't want to look at it.
Not only obvious, but if you look at it that way, and that's my problem. That's my point.
Yep.
Because if you look at you have to win 3 games, it tells you how dire the situation is. The gravity, the enormity. And then you say, well, we had to win 3 in a row. We didn't do that. Meanwhile, John Tavares, after he said that he didn't think that they deserved to be down 3-1. Okay, he said that, but then he said when you're playing the right way, you have to believe that if you stick with it, it'll turn your way. We have to trust in our game and in one another.
Well, that's what they need to do right now. Let's face it. Once again. It was a game that they could have won.
Well, just like
coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Is that Tuesday night they played?
Means nothing in the playoffs.
Yep.
The only thing that matters in the playoffs is wins and losses. And right now, again, they're in deep doo-doo today. Not impossible task, of course. A lot of teams.
Well, when you look at it, winning 3 in a row, it's a pretty daunting task. You got to win. We were talking to the guy from Chicago. Who's our friend from Chicago? Omar. And that's what it was. You have to take the mentality. You have to win this shift.
Right. Don't even look at it as a game. Right.
Not, I have to win 3 games in a row. Because once you say that, you're already setting yourself up for a failure.
You know what I mean? This is exactly what happened in the Pittsburgh series 2 years ago. They won. They split in Pittsburgh. They came home. They lost 2 overtime games. To Pittsburgh. Now they go back. They obviously got to win the game. But you're going back to, I kind of think this team feels comfortable on the road. I don't think they're a team that plays so much different at home
they won
and on the road.
First 2, each opening game they won on the road.
And I think that you go back to Tampa, you win the game there, you come back, got a home game. And then you take your chances in a Game 7. Everybody takes a chance in a Game 7.
So Game 4
I don't think it's
Sunday,
close out, but
Game 4 is Sunday at 3.
Game 5. Game 4. No, Game 5.
Game 5. You're right.
Yeah, 3 games to 1.
It's Sunday at 3 though, and that's the only game I think that's on it. There are 3 games today.
Yeah, we were talking about how they've only played 2 games in the whole week. Because they played Sunday, then they played Tuesday and then they played Friday. Yeah. So they've really only played 2 games in a week because there was a Justin Bieber concert that couldn't be moved. In Tampa, there was another thing that was going on that couldn't be moved. Obviously, when the Islanders were winning their Stanley Cups, the Coliseum would clear the month of May.
Well, we're talking about it. I don't know what year it was, but it was one of the 4 Stanley Cup years where the Islanders were matched up against Chicago. Chicago's home game was to take place on a night where Led Zeppelin had booked the arena, and the league asked Led Zeppelin to do it, and Led Zeppelin was probably the biggest band in the world back then. So we're not doing that, So the resolution then wasn't to wait until Led Zeppelin were out of town. It was basically they would play the game on that date and play it at the Coliseum, and Chicago was the home team. So they got the last change. They changed the benches up.
Remember, they wore different jerseys.
Yeah,
at that time, Chicago wore the white jersey because at that time the home team was wearing white and the Islanders were wearing their blue jersey. I remember that because it was kind of interesting to watch.
Excellent, very, very interesting.
And of course, there were a lot more Islander fans there than Chicago fans.
Well, that's true. That's true.
In the real quick, we'll give you what's going on in the other 2 races if you have been paying attention.
Well, there's 3 other.
So Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh is up 3-1, and that is a 7:15. There's 3 games today, so that's the middle game, 7:15 p.m. I think they're all on Channel 4. I think.
So now again, Washington is the best team.
Yeah.
Washington was the best team, had the best record in the league.
But they're down 3-1. And, it's always about peaking at the right time. Pittsburgh. if you think about it, 5 or 6 weeks ago when we were talking to Pete, Boston was in and Pittsburgh was out, right?
And Pittsburgh just barely scraped in.
And Pittsburgh, I mean, they got on a roll. I mean, they had an impressive last 20 games of the season, and they just continued that roll.
Yeah.
They took care of they steamrolled the Rangers in 5, right? Yeah. And it looks like they're about to do the same thing to Washington, the President's Cup champion.
The President's Cup champion. And what is it with Washington? Why can't they win in the playoffs? That's a good team. I really was surprised, although I did pick Pittsburgh.
You just look at what's going on in Washington just in general, okay? Okay. Is it any surprise that they can't get anything right, you know?
But then out in the West, both series are tied. 2 games apiece. Mm-hmm. And actually, the Nashville game the other night went to 3 overtimes.
Did it?
The other night, yeah. And
did you watch it?
Oh, no.
Okay.
I was asleep.
Your bedtime?
I was asleep.
Okay.
I couldn't even make it through the Met game. Uh-huh. I got to the 4th or the 5th inning, and I was done. It's hard watching them West Coast games.
It is. Well, I mean, 10 o'clock start, 10:30 start. Yeah.
Tonight might be different because, I don't have to go to work tomorrow.
Well, I thought they were playing at 4 today.
Is it 4 o'clock today?
I thought so. I'll have to look that up.
Well, you see, if I waited till 10 o'clock, I would miss it.
I tell you, I got a lot of stuff to take care of for tomorrow for Mother's Day.
All right. You know what?
Is that a good segue?
That's a good segue.
All right.
You know what? We're just getting started here. When we get back, we're going to have Bruce's mom on the phone as we celebrate as only we can on Glory Days with the first segment in our Mother's Day extravaganza. I figure why not?
It's always an extravaganza.
Waiting in the wings to give us the scoop on today's Kentucky Derby is Jerry Schwarzman as he tries his best to avoid losing all of our money along with his own. So stay with us. You're watching the Glory Days Show with Bruce and Disco only on the Inravio TV network. We're coming right back.
For over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit HansonCarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered. Village Music Shop of Mastic. 1-800-HEY-DUDE. Your full-service store with personalized attention, school band instrument rentals and sales, music instruction on all instruments for all styles and age groups, for guitars, drums, amplifiers, PA systems, and accessories. It's Village Music Shop, 1495 Montauk Highway in Mastic. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE or go to villagemusicshop.com.
Welcome back to the Glory Days Show here with Bruce and Disco here on the Inravio TV network. Looks like we lost my mom. Our first guest is someone who has known me the longest. Understandable, as she gave birth to me. She gave me my blue eyes and my sunny disposition. Thank goodness she didn't give me a musical talent because by her own admission, she can't carry a tune in a bucket. She's an avid Mets and Islanders fan, Her favorite colors are orange and blue. Here to give us her pick for the Kentucky Derby, as well as whatever else is on her mind. Hopefully not a rundown of her health condition. My mom, Muriel Gladys Oler. Okay, so we're going to have to...
While we're waiting for her to get back on the
she's
phone.
in the Witness Protection Program.
Your mother's middle name is Gladys?
Gladys. Muriel Gladys Oler, MGO.
Boy, is that a name from that generation or what?
That is bad. I was wondering, you know what? I think the reason why we got disconnected is because she didn't sign her disclaimer.
So
her attorney advised her against it.
What are you doing tomorrow for Mother's Day?
Well, I'm going to have my mom. We're going to be in my house, and I'm trying to decide now what I'm having. We got her. Okay, Ma, you there?
I'm here.
Okay.
Hey, happy Mother's Day, Mrs. Oler.
Oh, thank you so much.
Disco is, I introduced you, and I know you didn't hear it because we got disconnected there. I gave your full name, Muriel Gladys Oler.
So tell me where Gladys came from.
My mother and father named me that. I have no idea.
Okay.
There was no Gladys in your family?
No, there was no Gladys in my family.
Well, that's kind of like when we named my son Kevin.
Yeah.
We don't have any Kevins in the family. We just like the name.
Well, I do too.
It's unique, Ma. It's unique. So I told you we're going to ask you about the Kentucky Derby, but maybe we'll just talk maybe a little bit first about who's your favorite sports team, Mom?
The Mets.
The Mets. I thought you'd say the Islanders, but the Mets. Okay.
The Mets and the Islanders.
Okay.
They're two different sports, right?
I see you
Yes,
wearing
they
your
are.
orange and blue there, Mom, huh?
Yeah, you look very nice. We like the top that you're wearing.
How could you see my top? How could you?
I was talking to Paul beforehand. I said, so my mother was asking me, you sure you can't see me, right? So are you wearing hopefully you're wearing
pulling
something
my
decent,
leg, in other words.
Hey, you know what? Since Mother's Day is coming up, and I have a day to prepare because I'd like to ask you ahead of time. What's your perfect Mother's Day for tomorrow? What would you, if you had your choice of doing anything tomorrow, what would you like to do?
Just have my kids around me.
Right? That's
For
what
my
I
children.
said for Father's Day.
You got to tell a joke, Mom. You got to tell a joke.
No, everybody, asks you, what do you want to do for Father's Day or Mother's
Yeah.
Day? And I said, we just like to have our kids around.
Yeah.
And
have them staying out of my face.
You know what, Mrs. Owen? I have to ask you a question about little Brucey.
Oh, well, that might be kind of hard to answer, but go ahead.
Now, we all know the juvenile delinquent that he grew up to be. But I wanted to know a little bit about little Brucey, like when he was 2 or 3 years old.
Oh, he was an angel.
He was an angel?
Disco always calls me Eddie Haskell, is what he calls me, so, hello, Mrs. Cleaver, and how are you today, Meanwhile, hey, Wally, man, where's the beer?
So he was obviously your first child,
Yeah.
and he didn't scare you enough to not have other children.
Well, he was a lovable child.
There you go.
And he still is.
Oh, he still is, okay. I was going to just ask you then what happened.
Nothing. He's still a lovable person.
Yes,
not as
he is.
lovable.
He's just not as lovable. No, he's a good guy. I've known him almost as long as you have.
I beg your pardon. I couldn't hear that.
Oh, I said I've known him almost as long as you have.
I know that. And you know what? You're my child, too.
There you go.
I know you are my. I always.
We're
consider
family,
you-
all of us, right?
Yeah, I love being you. And remember, Mother's Day doesn't start till I get there.
Yes. How well I remember that.
Well, that you remember, right?
Remember that episode.
That was
Wait,
funny.
we don't want to talk about that.
We will.
Before you had little Brucey, what was your favorite job that you had? Your favorite job that you had, or did you not have a job until afterwards?
Oh no, I was employed from the day I graduated. I worked
What did
for
you do?
Metropolitan Life.
What did you do?
I filed claims.
Ah, okay.
Then I went to work for Thomas Baking Company. You know the famous English muffins?
Thomas
really?
English Muffins, yeah.
Okay.
See, I knew that.
I
never
didn't know
knew that. And I wound up a section manager in F.W. Woolworth in the mall.
I remember that. That's my memories of you. You know, you
Okay.
used to come and we would go and hang out and look at the animals. Remember they had the little pet thing? We used to go there and you used to go shoo us away.
You were also a lunch lady, Mom.
I didn't get that.
You also were a
I'm
lunch lady. She
86
worked
years
as a
old.
cafeteria aide
Yes.
in McKenna.
The school lady.
Yes.
Yep.
And when I wanted silence in the lunchroom, I would slam my hand down on the table.
And hence-
I got silence.
And hence, she got the nickname Little Hitler.
Did you? You did not.
That's very true. They call me Little.
Okay. All right, Mom. So we got to wrap up here. Thanks for joining us. We will. I'll see you tomorrow. We'll work out the logistics. Okay. I'll give Philly a call in a while.
Okay.
And look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Okay, Mom. Thanks
Mrs.
for calling.
Zola, have a
Okay.
great Mother's Day tomorrow.
Thank you, and you have a good show.
All right.
Okay?
Thanks, Mom.
Thanks.
Love
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye. All right.
I love you, Mom.
Little Hitler.
You know, I don't remember your mother. I remember your mother, but I didn't know who she was at the time.
Oh, yeah?
You know, but I remember just meeting her when we met her in Woolworths.
Okay.
All the time.
Oh,
in the mall.
you knew she was my mom at the time? Really?
No. I meant, the first time I had met her, I think, was probably at Woolworths.
Okay, yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm. And I just remember she used to yell at us for being in the mall.
That's the way it is, anyway.
And we're going to take another break here on the Gloria Day Show. When we get back, we're going to take a look at the entire Kentucky Derby field with our good pal, Jerry Schwarzman. And if you hang around, we're going to talk to my mom before the show is over on this Gloria Day's Mother's Day extravaganza. Stay with us. You watch the Gloria Day Show, Bruce Disco, only on the Inravio TV network. Coming right back, Jerry Schwarzman.
Village Music Shop of Mastic. 1-800-HEY-DUDE. Your full-service store with personalized attention, school band instrument rentals and sales, music instruction on all instruments for all styles and age groups, for guitars, drums, amplifiers, PA systems, and accessories. It's Village Music Shop. 1495 Montauk Highway in Mastic. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE or go to villagemusicshop.com.
This is Joe Larson. You should check out the 505 on Racing Show live every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or catch us on video on demand anytime, 24/7, only on the Inravio TV network.
For over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit HansonCarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered. The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, Inravio can get your message out there. And we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is Inravio.com.
Transmission of lice occurs from being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Like catching a cold or a flu.
You have guaranteed peace of mind in every bottle of Got Lice because all of our products are completely natural
And organic.
but strong enough to cover all your lice removal needs while being safe and effective. Our professional technicians are specially trained with our exclusive proven technique to successfully comb out head lice. We come right to your home at your convenience.
Whenever you want us.
We bring everything needed to perform a successful and complete comb out while eliminating your head lice. And we leave you with our exclusive complimentary products to use for the next 10 days following our treatment.
For free.
Our technicians also check all family members who have been exposed to lice. Please visit us on our website today at gotlice.co or feel free to call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at 646-257-0121.
Welcome back to the Glory Day Show with Bruce Disco here on the Inravio TV network. Well, horse racing fans have been waiting a long time to see a Crippled Crown winner. 37 years, in fact.
A Crippled Crown winner?
A Crippled Crown. It's a crippled horse that wins 3 races in a row. But in 2015, it was American Pharaoh who finally was able to complete the hat trick. Well, racing fans were spoiled in the 70s when, after a 25-year drought, 3 horses swept the races in just 5 years. Secretariat won in 1973, Seattle Slew in 1977, and then affirmed in the following year. So what about this year? There is a field of about 20 horses that'll be lining up somewhere about 6:30 or so, preparing for the race of their lives. And our next guest will also be preparing, but in a completely different way. In previous years on this program, he has provided us with fearless, if not completely accurate, predictions. But mostly around this time of the year, while most people are enjoying the sunshine and the fresh air, he's avoiding open spaces and bookies that might be looking to collect money. Please welcome to the program someone who's just one step away from the Witness Protection Program, our good friend Jerry Schwarzman. Jerry, how are you?
Hey, good morning, gentlemen, and of course I send you greetings and salutations from His Excellency.
Hey, where are you right now? I know you said you were traveling and you were on the road, so just kind of wondering where you are.
Well, Bruce and you have said more than once that I should get a life and start hanging around with a different set of people. So this morning finds Penny and I sitting at the Visitor Center at the Indiana Dunes as we join the Birding Festival of Indiana.
Oh, there you go.
Last night I stopped by the nearby Walmart, which in terms of retail space, 1 football field by 2 football fields. Bought myself a pair of binocs and still trying to figure out to use them. Penny said you may want to try to turn them around. I'm going to try that.
Well, it depends which way you look at them. Does the image look gigantic and blurry or tiny?
Well, I can only see out of one eye. I don't think they're wide enough. I should have gotten the XL like you guys said.
Well, you know, I know that anytime I use binoculars, I only use the one eye. I might as well just have the telescope that pirates use, you know, the little one-eyed thing, because that's the best way.
You should get a patch too, Disco. That'd be a fashion statement, man.
We found out this morning that birds get up earlier than I do. It's a 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Indiana program. We got here at 7:45 with a hangover. And at 8:15 it started to rain.
Oh, no.
But we had our maiden voyage, and we are hooked on birding. It's fascinating. And you're right. You guys are right. I am meeting a different group of people here. we started to walk around with our heads cocked back and forth. You know, I think we're getting into it.
All right,
But
so
it's a great day for a race.
it is. It's a great day for a race. But you know what? This is one of those years where I mean, everybody's talking about Nyquist, who's the odds-on favorite. But I really don't. It's not as compelling as last year's race.
Yeah, that's a good point. And so, you know, the buzz around the stable isn't as hot as it's been in previous years. And you're talking about a 7-0 horse that has won in several areas of the country and has won against good competition. But the rub on Nyquist is twofold. First of all, he's under Uncle Mo, who I saw win the juvenile in person in 2011, I believe, or 12. Tremendous horse. It never got to the Triple Crown chance because injury ended his career early. So we don't know if Uncle Mo could have done the distance. The other thing is that the buyers on this horse is not as strong. In fact, Exaggerator, who is one of the top 3 in the race, he has better buyers, even though Nyquist has beaten Exaggerator 3 times. The buyers on Exaggerator are better, and there's a compelling question as to whether a lengthened out race might make the difference in who goes to the winner's circle.
Right. Now, I had never known about the buyer numbers. It's kind of like it's like the speed gun on a fastball.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a rating system as to how they rate based on how they run on various tracks. Okay, and Nyquist, the highest he ever ran was 101, but he ran 94 in the Florida Derby that he won, and only in the 90s. I don't think he even broke 90s in his other ones. But in this race today, I don't think there's any horse that had over 3 digits. Oh, there's 3 other horses that have tied. Exaggerator had 103, Destin had 100, and Dancing Candy had 100. But other than that, so it's not going to be a race of superpowers.
I got to ask about this name. Okay, you know,
Nyquist.
First of all, when I first saw it, I thought it was NyQuil. You know, I guess that.
No, that's the horse that goes to
Jerry
sleep.
mentioned the rub on Nyquist, and I said, maybe I am right here. You know, but I thought you were telling me that this owner has named. This is like a hockey player too, right? And this is like the 3rd horse he's owned. That's named after a hockey player.
Paul J. Reed is from Ontario, and he named him after Gustav Nyquist because he says he's a very classy, soft-spoken, and he plays the game at a hard level. But he's also named most of his horses after Detroit Red Wings. Datsyuk, Lindstrom, Zetterberg, but none of them has had this success. And by the way, the Stanley Cup is going to be in Nyquist's stable today. Did you know that?
Why?
Because it has he loves horses. He loves the Stanley Cup, so he's made arrangements to have the Stanley Cup in the stable today.
So you got to pay for that or what? I mean, how do you go about getting?
I don't know.
We should have a Stanley Cup party, man. If this guy can do it, why can't we? You know?
I guess if you have enough money.
He knows a guy.
He knows.
Yeah, I guess he does, Jerry. Probably knows a couple of guys, or a couple of skeletons are, man. You know.
All right, Jerry. So what we want to do is we want to take a quick look at some of the horses. I know you can't see the graphic that we're displaying, but these are the horses that have the best odds today. This is the number one. So you got Nyquist, Exaggerator is 8-1, Gunrunner, Creator, and Mohamed are 10-1. The interesting thing about Steve Osman, who's the trainer of Creator and Mohamed, he's never won a Kentucky Derby.
Gunrunner. It was Creator and Gunrunner.
Gunrunner and Creator. He's 0 for 13.
Well, that means he's overdue, doesn't it?
Yes.
Well, you got the three top horses that'll be lining up right in the middle of the group.
Right.
And it said stuff about how long some of the horses have to sit in their grade until all the rest gets loaded. Exaggerator is going to have to sit in the 11th slot until the rest of the 10 and the second gate get loaded. So these horses are going to have a long time to look at each other. Exaggerator, Nyquist, and Mohamed. Mohamed is an interesting horse because if you scratch the last race, he might have been the favorite today.
Right. He hadn't lost until then.
Huh?
I don't think he lost until then.
Yeah, exactly. And but he moved up in class, ran against a Grade 1 group, and Nyquist won that. And again, it's a question of what happened in that race. Apparently, he's been training very sharply, put in some great splits this week, and the trainer is extremely pleased with what's going on. Clarence McLaughlin.
And now you had talked about you talked about the getting them loaded in the gate. So because there's 20 horses, they start loading them. 1 and 11 get loaded together.
Okay.
Then 2 and 12 and 3 and 13. So the 1 and 11 and the 2 and 12 horses, they're in there for a long time. And these horses, man, once they get into the gate, the only thing they want to do is freaking bust through and get going.
Exactly. They start to wash out a little bit. And, you know, a good horse knows what's going on. So when they see the starter get up in his position, they kind of crouch. You know, it's like a sprinter gets down. So they're very anxious. They know what all this is about, and they know the expectation of breaking when they see daylight.
Right.
The question is, can the horse remain settled and collected during that whole time?
All right. So let's move to the next group of these horses.
Okay.
All right. So the next group is
have a chance, I guess. Right.
The next group is I would say that they have a chance. You got More Spirit and Brody's Cause. They're 12-1. Outwork and Dancing Candy and Destin are all 15-1. Now, 2 of them are Todd Pletcher horses, who, of course, you know.
What does that mean?
You got a big race question here, because Dancing Candy would have been the horse that would have set the pace. And pace setting in today's race, of course, in any race is important. Dancing Candy is in the 20 slot.
Right, he's the last guy on the right.
To get on top, he's got to break cleanly, and he's got to be able to get on top before that first turn, or else he's going to get caught wide and will never get there. Got a great jack on him. Smith is on him, but the question is, can he get here? If he cannot get there, then you've got horses who are going to opt out on who will try to set the pace. And all of them have what they call tactical speed. That is, wherever they're at, they have the speed mid-race to go to the front and shift gears in order to get the pace at where they want to run it.
Now Bob Baffert, who trained More Spirit, obviously he was the guy who he won the Triple Crown last year with American Pharaoh. And he's won 4 derbies, and Gary Stevens, the jockey, has won 3 derbies. Okay? But no horse has ever won the Kentucky Derby coming out of the 17 hole.
Oh, yeah.
How do you like that?
I think you did a lot of research on this.
I did do a lot of research. I had nothing better to do this week. All right, so you know what?
Tonight.
How are we doing on
No,
time?
no, I think there's some good value horses, and you just hit on one. And of course, a horse as a 3-year-old is continuing to mature. And you pointed out that in the Grade 1 Santa Anita Derby, this horse came off the pace and was closing and finished second with a 94 buyers. Previous out was a 97 buyers. So this horse seems to like a lengthening out option and coming to slightly off the pace. Good value horse. Another good value horse is Outwork. Outwork won the Wood Memorial. Got on top halfway through the race and just ran away. Although towards the end, Trojan Nation was closing. But Trojan Nation is not going to be in this race. Trojan Nation got the bad draw in the 1 slot.
Right.
He's going to be buried down along the rail.
And he was already 50-1.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting that, I guess the one spot, I think in auto racing, is the pole position. That's supposed to be the best spot you have, right? This is a terrible spot, though, huh? In a horse race.
The thing with auto racing is they're all lined up behind each other. There's like 3, I think they do 3 or 4 abreast, and then they're all lined up. These guys are all the way out to the side. Hey, so Jerry, who is going to win this race?
Well, I'm with Exaggerated because you know that my passion is for Curlin. Curlin is his sire.
Right.
Curlin, no matter what happens, Curlin was never out of the race, and he's running some real tough races and got some bad breaks. I like Exaggerator in this one just because of his ability to run long. And in other sports, you say a team can't beat another team in basketball 3 times in a year. Well, Nyquist is being Exaggerator 3 times in a year. Can Nyquist be an Exaggerator 4 times in a year when Exaggerator's numbers are better on the buyers?
All right, so give me
off the other 2 only because of questions of value of betting. But you got some good value bets in Creator.
Who do you like, Creator?
You got a good value bet in Gun Runner. And if you are, you've already mentioned Outwork, which is a good value bet,
right,
and Most Spirit. But one of the big stories today is Victor Espinoza. No jock has ever won three Kentucky Derbies in a row. He's not on a very good horse, Whitmore. In fact, I got him penciled in as no chance. Wouldn't that be something if you put that horse on his shoulders and got him across the finish line?
It sure would be.
All right, who do you? So give me a horse that has no chance that you think has a chance.
Well, Trojan Nation is out of it. Okay, we've already talked about that one. Oscar Nominated is out of it, and I think Lanny. This is a foreign horse in the race. I think this was there's a couple of ego trips with owners getting in. That one's out of it.
How does a horse like that, Lanny? How does that horse get in the race when he's only raced once? How does that happen?
He knows the guy.
We know a lot of people these days, man.
Yeah. Just like the big guy built an ark and saved all the animals. He knows a guy.
What's your? By the way, what's your favorite horse name in the Derby this year? I like Sudden Breaking News, which I thought was a pretty good name, and I like and the other one I like is My Man Sam. Just like the name.
What is the matter with you?
Which one do you like?
Shagaff.
Gun Runner.
Gun Runner. Okay, that's a good one. That is a good one.
All right, so I want to bet on a long shot. Who's my long shot?
I think probably you're going to get a best value on those middle horses. You got to look at those. I think the other ones are out. But again, Creator, watch their odds on Creator, Gun Runner, the Outwork, and Most Spirits. So whoever might set up as a longer shot, the higher number, go with it.
Go with it. Okay.
All righty. So who are you betting on? You're going to go in there with your handful of shekels
and go with Exaggerated.
And what are you going with? What bets are you making today?
Exaggerated. I've already been in the penny purse I got some loose change. I'm going to take that and with the money I got on the second mortgage and put it on exaggeration.
All right.
Hey,
Trying to stay one step ahead of the witness protection program.
Got it. Hey, I got a quick one if we have time.
Sure, go ahead.
There are two horses standing at a bar. And one says to the other, you know, I was in the fourth at Belmont today. I stumbled at the gate, so broke way back, but I found a second gear, and I caught the horses, and I won. The other horse says, well, what a coincidence. I was at Aqueduct. I was in the seventh. I took a wide turn, got bumped way out. Thought I was way off the pace, but I found a second gear, and I closed and got the leader by a head and won the race. A dog nearby overheard the conversation and says, you know, what happened to me today is I was at the dog track. I was in the sixth race, way out of my league, way outclassed, broke. All these dogs ran ahead of me, and I don't know what happened. It's one of those once-in-a-lifetime moments. I caught them all, and I won a race that was 2 classes above where I was rated. With that, the dog picks up his drinks and walks away, and the one horse says to the other, I'll be damned, a talking dog.
That's why we love you, Joe.
Bada boom. Okay.
All right, man. Enjoy your mint
I'll
julep.
be thinking about this.
All right, man. Enjoy your mint julep today.
All righty.
Okay. Always a pleasure. Take care first. Take care.
Good talking to you, Jerry. All right.
All righty.
Time for another break. When we get back, we'll have Disco's dear mother on the phone as she salutes her #1 son on Glory Day's Mother's Day extravaganza. Stay with us. You're watching the Glory Day Show with Bruce and Disco only on the Inravio TV network. We're coming right back.
We love you.
For over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit HansonCarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered.
Hey, this is Chris Les Jake, and if Inravio.com spots you at an event wearing this bracelet, they will give you $100.
The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, Inravio can get your message out there, and we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is Inravio.com.
Welcome back to the Glory Day Show with Bruce and Disco here on the Inravio TV network. You know, I can remember being a kid and listening to everything my mother told me because, let's face it, she had a wooden spoon and wasn't afraid to use it. But as I got to be a teenager and a young adult, I realized how much smarter I was than both of my parents, and like most kids, I kind of tuned them out for a long time. But when I finally became a parent, I understood what it meant to be a parent and realized that when my parents tried to give me advice that I would completely ignore, they were absolutely right. And I'm not talking about some of the time, but most of the time. And like my co-host here, I too was a firstborn. And as such, I know that I am the favorite, even though she'll never admit it. Sorry, Tony. Please welcome back to the program, my mommy. Mommy, how are you?
I'm fine, sweetheart.
How you feeling this morning?
Thank God. The good Lord was very good to me.
There you go. Hey, Mrs. D, how are you?
Night. I guess I did something right. I don't know.
You did. You did.
Right.
I was the one that corrupted your son. You know?
My son is always right. He's a Disco Bonnie.
Just keep thinking that.
Right.
So listen, I really thought that this morning you would dress up a little more for this interview. You know, you'd have your hair done and your, what?
I'm not dressed?
Well, yeah, you're dressed, but you're not wearing anything really nice.
How do you know what I got on?
No, I'm
Don't
just
tell me
pulling your
you
leg
see
there,
me.
Mrs. D.
I know we
You
can't
can't
see.
see me, right?
No, I cannot
no,
see you. No, no, it's just the phone.
It's funny. My mother asked me the same question. We did the same thing with her. We told her she should have dressed up more.
You big
You
kid.
can't see me, can you? You know.
So we want to talk about Mother's Day and about what Mother's Day means to you. And of course, you know, obviously, I know that as a child I was sick a lot. But can you tell Brucey a little bit about what little Paulie was like as a child?
My little Paul? My little Paul was and I'm not saying this because it's the truth, he was a very good baby.
See that?
You hear what you said? I'm not saying this.
He was a
just the
very
truth.
good baby. He slept. Only thing was, every 2 weeks he was sick and made me a crazy, crazy wreck. All I did was touch his head.
Everything. You know Ray Romano's mother?
Yeah.
That's my mother. Even to this day.
And she lives right next door, too.
Even to this day, my mother can tell when I'm sick.
Yeah.
Without, I don't even have
All
to
I
go
have
to the
to do is
doctor.
look at his eyes.
She looks
I
at
know
my
right
eyes.
away. The eyes.
And she knows I'm sick, and the first thing she does is touch my head and immediately runs into the kitchen and makes chicken soup. It doesn't matter, even if she doesn't have chicken, she will make chicken soup.
Well, all I can say is, do I have a minute to talk?
You can talk as much as you like.
We'd like to ask you who you're going to vote for in this upcoming...
I have this poem that I've been saving.
Oh, okay.
And I'd like you to hear it.
Sure.
And this goes not only for me, but for all the mothers that are listening.
Sure.
And the name of the poem is To My Grown-Up Son.
Uh-oh.
My hands were very busy through the day. I didn't have much time to play. The little games you asked me to, I didn't have much time for you. I'd wash your clothes, I'd sew and cook, but when you brought your picture book and asked me to please share your fun, I'd say a little later, son. I'd tuck you in safe at night and hear your prayers and turn out the light. Then tiptoe slowly to the door. I wish I had stayed a minute more. For life is short, the years rush past, the little boy grows up so fast. No longer is he at your side, his precious secrets to confide. The picture books are put away, there are no longer games to play. No goodnight kiss, no prayers to hear, that all belongs to yesteryear. My hands once busy, now are still. The days are long and hard to fill. I wish I could go back and do the little things that you asked me to. Isn't that a beautiful poem?
Wow, who wrote
that?
You're going to make me cry.
It's author unknown.
Author unknown.
I always kept it. I don't know who wrote it, but it makes me think a lot of mothers how we did lovingly, not realizing that I wish I could go back to those days. But it's something that can never be. But to let you know that you're loved all the way.
Well, we were talking to Bruce's mother about what she would like for Mother's Day, and you know, she said basically, I guess what every parent says is they just want to have their children with them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I did for my mother. We went there every Mother's Day. I wouldn't say every Mother's Day. I always shared it with your father. One Mother's Day with mine and one Mother's Day with his, but we were always there. And just to see her face and never realizing all the cooking that she did. Who thought to say, all right, Mom, we're going to cook for you? We just knew that's the way it was and that's the way she wanted it. And to me, I would have done the same thing today, but you offered to take me out to eat. So I said, well, I might as well.
Well, I didn't want you to have to cook on Mother's Day.
I know, but I used to. Did
I
I always?
know that. Absolutely. I know you used to cook on Mother's Day.
Right,
but you know,
right.
it's supposed to be Mother's Day. Although, you know what?
know.
No matter what we try to do, there is no chance, even if we have dinner at my house or at Anthony's house or whatever, you never just sat around and enjoyed it. You always had to do something.
Yeah,
Well, that's me. What can I tell
that's
you?
right, Mrs. D.
Call me
That's why we
stupid.
love you. Because you are you.
Some people would take advantage, but that's not me. I can't help it. I was brought up that way.
I tell you, I thought maybe Paul wrote that poem for you or something, you know.
No, I wish I did.
That was great. That was totally
Isn't that a
unrehearsed.
beautiful
that was
poem? And
beautiful,
I
Mrs.
wanted
D.
to share that with any of the mothers that are listening, and I'm sure they felt the same way I did.
I think the show might go viral because of that. I don't know. You know?
I I really don't know. It says author unknown. I pulled it out of the paper years ago.
But now we can get it to go viral. I got to ask you, who you're voting for in this year's election?
Right.
Who am I voting for?
Yeah.
You're not going to like what I say. I'm voting for Trump.
There we go. I wouldn't say
Look at that.
Okay.
You know what? That surprised me, but you know what? With the two choices, why Trump?
I don't know. There's something about him that he doesn't care what he says, and maybe he'll put this country back on its feet. I don't know.
Maybe there's a
That's
poem
just
for
how
him
I
that we
feel
can
about
follow.
it. He has nothing to lose. He's not putting on airs. He tells you the way it is.
And that's what. That's why I think he'd make a pretty good president.
I think so too, because there are most of them that are in there all a crocker, you know.
Yeah, we
But
got
the
to
idea-
change it up. We got to change it up.
Well, maybe, but that's how I feel. He may not come in because I got a feeling Hillary's going to do it. But then again, that's how I feel about it.
I just don't think. I just don't know why everybody thinks Hillary knows what she's doing.
I don't think she does either. She
I don't
should
think-
stay home
all
and
right.
clean her house.
Yeah.
We gotta go to a more non-controversial question here. Okay, when I introduced my mom, I introduced her as Muriel Gladys Oler, and Paul said he doesn't know what your middle name is.
Patricia. You mean you don't know my name is Patricia?
You know, you
my
don't
name
go
is
by
Carmela
Patricia that often.
Patricia Lombardi.
Right, and you're Patricia though. Well, you were named after who?
I took my Aunt Pat's name. Her name was Pasqualina.
Oh.
But my mother didn't want me to put Pasqualina, so in English it's called Patricia.
So you didn't want to be Carmela Pasqualina Lombardi.
So I'm Carmela Patricia Lombardi.
There you go.
Wow.
I was a Lombardo until my father went to Italy in 1950 and found out that his name is not Lombardo but Lombardi. When he came to America, he couldn't write too good and he closed the I. So when he came back, he made my brothers carry the name Lombardi. We were already married, so it didn't matter to us. So I was always a Lombardo, not a Lombardi.
You see the things you learn?
Wow.
I can't say that I knew that.
Well, you never asked.
All right, Mommy. Thank you for taking the time and
I enjoyed it.
Being
and
with
I
us.
wish a happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, to your mother, Bruce.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you, Mrs. D.
Okay, bye-bye.
I love you, Mommy, and make
I love
America
you
great
more.
again.
I love you more. Bye.
All right, thanks. And that is it. We're just about out of time. What'd you learn today, Mr. Bruce?
Learned your mom's middle name is?
I learned your mother's
I can't say I knew your mother's name was Carmela. Carmela.
Yeah, Carmela. That I knew.
Yeah, well,
Well, she's always Carmela because we always have the problem with what she should write on her checks.
Uh-huh.
Because the check says Carmela on it, but she signs it Millie.
Millie.
You know, she's always been Millie.
So what did you learn?
Well, I learned that Jerry Schwarzman doesn't think that Nyquist is going to win. He likes exaggerating.
He does.
And there doesn't seem to be a lot of... he doesn't really have any love at all for the real long shots in this race. He likes the middle guys. He's given us some good middle guy bets. But other than that, this was a happy show.
It was.
You know? All right, thanks to our producers. Where is my sheet? Oh yeah, Kyle Melnick and Brittany Berger for all their hard work and making us look so good out here. And thanks to Jerry Schwarzman for his fearless predictions in this afternoon's Kentucky Derby. And let's hope for his sake that he gets it right. And of course, thanks to our mothers for coming on the show today, but more importantly, for putting up with all of our crap these years and still loving us like we were only 2 days old. We wouldn't be the successful adults we are today without your love and affection. And we love both of you more than we can express, right?
I'm with you all the way there, my friend.
All righty. Thanks again, Chuck and Bonnie, for putting up with this nonsense week after week and for allowing us to bring you this type of quality programming. And of course, thanks to you, our loyal viewers. Don't forget, you can check out the Glory Days On Demand page on www.inravio.com, and you can watch any of our past shows or any of the other great shows on the Inravio TV network. Have a great weekend, everybody. Put some shekels on the Derby today, and go see your mothers tomorrow.
Please do.
Stay safe. See you next time.
Inravio.com.